Hello, and thanks for stopping by. Today we got a Specialized Ruby. It's a 2011. Going to be doing a tune-up on this. Hasn't been ridden in a while. Bar tape definitely needs to be replaced. The shifters are gunked up, so we'll address those and see if we can get those working properly again. Drivetrain's all greased up, but luckily I think the chain is still in good shape, as well as the cassette. And then we'll go check the bottom bracket, check the hubs, make sure everything's working correctly. So let's get into it. So first things first, let's take these wheels off so we can have better access to the frame and really give it a good clean. Okay, I just wanted to demonstrate this for those of you who don't have a bike stand. You can also get your wheels off by flipping the bike upside down and proceeding as followed. Release this brake lever, push that up, and then you're also going to release the lever on the axle, and it's going to be very similar. You're going to sit here, pull up on your jockey wheel, pull back, and then lift up on your wheel. All right, let's pop this cassette off real quick. Next time you see this, it'll look good as new. Okay, so we ran into a little bit of a dilemma. The chain on this bike does not have a quick link, so in order to clean it, we're going to use this chain scrubber tool. This works great. You just sit here, put the chain in there, put your favorite degreaser in here. There's a little fill line there, and then you literally just cycle it. So let me show you how it's done, and you can see the results. Okay, so before you get started on this, I like to take this derailleur and push it all the way in so the chain line's a little better. So let's just go and we'll adjust that real quick. And now let's add our tool. We'll just put the chain right in there like so, put the tap on, and then clamp it down. And she's ready for action. Now also, I forgot to mention, when you're doing this, I would highly recommend using some piece of cardboard or something, because this will spill as you're sitting here and rotating this crank. Starting to look pretty good. Alrighty, let's disconnect this. Ooh, boy. And then let's go rinse this out, and we'll add some water to this and then cycle the chain 1, maybe 2 times, just depending on how dirty it is. Definitely getting dirty, so we'll go clean this out one more time. All right, that looks 10 times better. So after you've gone and rinsed the chain off, take an old rag and just run it through the chain and try to dry it off the best you can. So when it comes to cleaning the frame, it really depends on how dirty the bike is. Now for this one, it's not too bad. If this was like a mountain bike caked in dirt, I would say let's give it a wet wash. For light cleanings, I love to use Bike Lust. This stuff's great, and it also leaves a nice protective layer and a nice shine on the frame afterwards. So typically what I'll do is just spray it on a rag, and especially do this if you have disc brakes. Never spray directly on the frame, because you can contaminate your pads, your rims, your rotors. Trust me, you can ruin your brakes by doing that. Okay, I should have done this earlier, but let's take this crank off. So in order to do so, grab a 5mm and we'll loosen these bolts up here. There's just 2 bolts on the side. All right, once that's done, let's sit here and take this plastic cap off. It's just sort of like a plastic nut. There's a special tool you can use to take this off. These are pretty cheap and expensive, you don't have one. And there we go. One last thing, there's a little plastic tab here. You need to push this up, and with that up, that will release this crank, well, this crank arm, and we should be able to pop it right off. Sometimes these can get a little stuck, so if so, just grab a rubber mallet. There we go. While you have the crank arms off, let's inspect the bottom bracket. What you want to be looking for is if you feel any dirt or grime, sometimes some sand will get inside these bearings and it'll actually feel rough. This one actually feels great, so no need to replace this bottom bracket, but do check the other bearing as well. So you want to check both, make sure they're both functioning correctly. Let's talk hubs. When you're looking at your hubs and trying to inspect them to see if those bearings are good or not, essentially what you want to do is sort of, just rotate them, see if you hear anything out of the ordinary. Is there any binding? Do you hear grit? Pretty much the same thing as your bottom brake. I mean, they're essentially bearings, so you just want to make sure that they're rolling smoothly. These don't sound too bad. They do sound like they could benefit from some grease though. What we'll do is disassemble this. I've already inspected these, so these are some seal cartridge bearings. So we'll pop those seals off, throw some fresh grease in, and see how it works. So in order to remove these nuts, we're going to need a 13 mil cone wrench and a 17 mil wrench. And just break those free. Push that off to the side. And then we can unscrew this as well. All right, let's get this off. Take our pick. Get this washer out. Push that off to the side. And now we have our seal cartridge bearing. So what we can do, take this pick and we'll just take the seal off. As we're doing this, we want to be ever so careful as to not damage the seal. So let's just come in here and just go around the edge. And there we go. Oh, shucks. And it's gone. Okay, so found the seal, which is good. Make sure you're not losing stuff, so push that off to the side. And then, as you can see here, we have a lot of old grease in this thing. So, which, I mean, not terrible, it's a good thing. It's just they're a little gunked up, so let's go and see if we can clean out some of this grease, and then we'll apply some new grease. Once again, I like to grab our speed degreaser and we'll just shoot the inside of this. And as I'm doing this, I'm going to try to aim down so all that old grease will fall out instead of going up into the hub. That's looking a little better. Let's throw some fresh grease in here and then we'll put the seal back on. Okay, so we've got the grease gun here. Now this is just Park Tools Polylube 1000. It'll be perfectly fine for these. There we go. Now let's pop our seal back on. And then just clean it up. All right, and then just do the same thing to the other side. All right, let's put these back together. So with this cone nut here, we want to tighten it just enough to get it snug, and then take our lock nut and attach that, and then lock it in place. But want to make sure you're not tightening that cone too much to where it's not going to be able to move freely. So, because if that cone nut is too tight, it's going to restrict the bearings. So just be careful. See, now here, that's too tight. So let's back it out a little bit. Now what I like to do is I'll loosen this lock nut just a hair, and then with the 13 mil, I'll loosen that onto the lock nut and see if that helps. All right, that's better. Is there any play? I think it's good, so perfect. Check it. And we are a go. Nice. All right, next let's tackle this handlebar. This tape is old, needs to be replaced, and the shifters are not working as they should, especially the right shifter. As I'm going up, it doesn't want to go all the way up the cassette, and then it's having a hard time releasing. So we'll sit here, address that, see if we can't degunk some of that old grease in there, and then re-lubricate it. There we go. And this is why we don't use white tape. Look how dirty that gets. All right, now that we got the tape off, let's take this hood off, and this way we can better access the gears, and I can sort of show you guys what's going on and point out where that old grease is and where we need to lubricate. Now, I like to use alcohol, but you can use whatever you like. Alcohol just sort of evaporates a little quicker. It can be a little tricky, so just have patience. But you sort of want to pry it from the back, and then voila. What we want to do is go and just hit all these moving parts in here. And what I like to use is some speed degreaser. This stuff works great. Now, before we go ahead and try to re-lubricate this, make sure the shifter is nice and dry. That's why I prefer to use a speed degreaser or something with an alcohol or something that's going to actually evaporate quickly to help break up some of that old grease. A little bit of tri-flow. I'm just going to hit all these little joints, the springs, the rollers, all that fun stuff. Now, it's a little hard to get in all these tiny crevices, so just do your best. Now that we have cleaned out these gears the best we can, I've applied a little bit of that tri-flow, and now I'm going to take a little bit of SRAM butter. Now, I went with SRAM butter because it's a very light and thin grease. So I'm going to sit here, take a paintbrush, and just coat the inside of that the best I can. And hopefully the combination between this light grease and the tri-flow will help protect this in the future and keep those gears functioning. Just try to hit these gears up in here so they can move freely, and as they're going up and down, that grease will move around and hopefully won't cause them to stick in the future. Okay, so once you've added your grease, your tri-flow, you got those gears working as they should, clean it up the best you can, and then reapply your hood. I always like to spray this with some alcohol on the inside. Once again, I don't recommend using water, because if you do, then you're literally introducing water into your system, and then it may rust or, not work again. So alcohol is nice because it'll sit here and dry out quickly, and you don't have to worry about moisture getting inside your shifters. Sometimes this can be a little tricky, but just have patience. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so let's wrap these bars. Once you've removed all the bar tape, next what you want to do is just clean off all the old residue. Grab some alcohol and a rag and just try to hit up all these old areas. Get that surface nice and clean, and then we can go ahead and attach the new tape. All right, so we got our bar tape, finishing tape, we got our little bar end plugs, and really the only tools you need for this are a pair of scissors and some electrical tape. Now, when it comes to placing this in and around the hole here, I like to shoot for about a little over half. So you want to tuck this side in just like that. I always like to start off at the bottom down here and then wrap it around. Make sure it's nice and snug. And then before we move on, let's get our bar in, push this in, make sure we're not missing any pieces. And then it's going to have a nice tight fit. All right, see, perfect. But if we were to sit here and continue to go up, there's a little piece right here that we could get a little better. So now that that's in there, now we can really pull nice and tight, make sure there's no loose areas, and then we can continue up. And I usually like to shoot for a little over half when it comes to overlapping. And then as you're working your way up, just try to sit and make sure that everything is consistent. You don't want, to have some odd spaces. This way it's going to look good, and then also the feel will be the same throughout. All right, now that we're getting up near the top, so as you can see here, we're right at the top of the lever. So I like to come up and over now. Come around. And then if there's any gaps here, you'll finish that off with the figure 8. And then come back around. And here I usually will try to extend this up a little higher, because if you come down, you'll leave this triangle exposed, and then when you push this lever or this hood back down, you'll have a little gap. So just beware of when you're wrapping these. And before we get too far away, let's take that hood and just pull it back down and make sure everything is good and we don't have any gaps. Alrighty, that looks pretty good. Nothing there. And good on this side as well. So nicely done. Let's continue. All right, so this is where we're going to end, right here. So I have my thumb here, and we'll just pull it back out, unroll it a little bit. And so what you want to do is just cut it at an angle. And as you're doing this, make sure you're cutting from the outside in, and this way that angle will be on the edge, or else it won't look as good. All right, so once we have it cut, now we can go ahead and take our electrical tape. Now what I like to do is take that and then put it underneath that last roll. So you'll have a nice contact, and this way it won't unravel. I'll usually wrap it around 2 or 3 times. And then when you're cutting it, just make sure to cut it underneath so you're not going to see it. And then we can attach our finishing tape.